the Horn of Plenty Harvest Abundance workshop. This is going to be experiences to invite you to awaken, to take a journey with me, to travel to this place of Horn of Plenty and abundance together. And if you don't already have something to write with nearby, whether that's paper, whether you write on your body, whether you write on fabric, write on the walls, I don't care. You're going to write or draw somewhere. I'm going to tell you in a moment the prompts. But first, I want to share. So, recently I presented a workshop to the Creative Mornings group. This is a worldwide organization, centers in various cities. I forget how many chapters there are. So I presented to them, and afterwards, one of the pieces of feedback that I got was that I didn't explain the connections between every story that I made and everything that I did in the workshop. And while at the time I thought, oh, I might be making a leap from one thing to another and not leading them there, not connecting for them, I also see the value of you filling in the gaps for yourself, making the connections for yourself. How do I put this? Back when I was a teacher, yes, my job was to stair step things for students. Scaffolding, we call it, of building the framework so that you can understand the concepts. And I fully believe and live by this idea that imagination is more important than knowledge. And part of my purpose in working with you is to give you a jumping off point to explore and go where you will. If I only lead you where I have gone, oh, I get all the tinglies all over as I'm saying this. You can only go where I've gone. That's not our job together. That's not what we're doing here. I can show you some of the places that I've gone. I can show you things that I have a glimpse of, and you are going to go other places. You're going to have other journeys. I want to know what some of them are. I'd love to come along with you for some of them. If you want to work one-on-one with me, we will go on these journeys together. And some of them are for you and you alone. And I'm not so interested in showing you the exact way. I want to invite you to awaken your way. Therefore, today, for the things that I don't connect for you, this is a jumping off point. This is an engagement. This is a place where, if you're familiar with Zen koans, the Zen master, the Zen teacher will give a phrase. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Your job as the student is to contemplate that phrase until the moment of awakening. Sometimes there is not that moment of awakening. Sometimes you give up. Sometimes you reach a point where you're like, well, that was dumb. Cool. Wherever you go, that's great. Today we're going to go on a journey to abundance, to the Horn of Plenty. The other reason I'm not going to make all the connections for you is, quite honestly, I don't have all the connections. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night from a dream and I was presented this information. Here's something you have to teach in the workshop. This happens to me quite often. I prepare whatever I'm going to prepare. I have an outline or a basic script, run of show, if you will. And then the night before, I get a dream, or the morning of, something happens that's very clearly a sign, include this. Therefore, what I received in the night, I don't know where it's going or exactly what it is, but I'm going to share it with you because that's a part of this experience. So trust in the unknowing, trust in the discomfort, because also what we're doing here together is flexing our creative muscles, is flexing our imagination. If you want abundance and harvest and to tap into the Horn of Plenty that's for you, you're going to have to go to a different place than you are right now. Okay, so this is what the Horn of Plenty looks like by my drawing. The Horn of Plenty is this symbol which has been without us has been with us throughout many hundreds of years. And in other versions of it, many common versions, you will see the food spilling out of the horn. And the horn is a basket of plenty, but it's a basket that's shaped like a horn. I also know, if you like the word cornucopia, also that's associated with this. So if you're the type of person who you're thinking, okay, I'm ready to start taking notes or putting things down on paper because that gives your brain something to fixate on, you can be putting harvest abundance. I have my paper here. I'm going to be taking notes too. Harvest abundance, cornucopia, horn of plenty. Together, I'm giving you time to write this down. If you prefer doodling to writing things down, that's cool. In the traditional version of this, fish is in there, bread, flowers, fruits, squash, corn, potatoes, apples, not bananas, because it's usually more of a northern thing. But you can make your own tropical version of this. This is your life, your cornucopia. You make it how you want it to be. The horn of plenty that we're going to work with, that I'm going to lead you through a short visualization, and you can do it. This like open eyes meditation is, we're going to picture that this cornucopia is a portal. And so if you want to close your eyes for this, you can, or if you want to keep your eyes open and doodle or draw as I lead you through this, you're welcome to do that. And again, we're just letting the mind go where it goes. All right, taking in a deep breath, letting it flow into your body, and feeling the sensation that you are walking up to a magical place that exists between the point where two hills come together. So there's this place where these two hills come together. And at the meeting point just below there, you see what looks like a cave in the hills, an opening of a cave that's surrounded by interlaced vines. Vines creating an opening around the circle of the cave. The vines crisscross, interweave, interlace. And you thank your lucky stars because as you approach this cave, you recall that you have a backpack that you brought with you. And in your backpack, you have a flashlight. So you don't need it just yet, but you feel comforted knowing that the flashlight is nearby you. So you approach this cave opening and notice it's big enough for you to get into. You may have to dip your head a little bit to cross through the vines at the center opening of the cave, but you can see as you look in that as you enter the cave, the ceiling of the cave is taller than you, so you'll easily be able to walk into this cave. And so you walk up to the very opening of the cave. You're standing right on the edge of this cave. And you know that if you spoke into the cave, if you said words, yelled into the cave, those words would travel down through the hollows of the cave to some central point down in there, to some place that is almost like a microphone, listening, receptively waiting to hear what you want to speak into the hollows of this cave. Because this cave, this cornucopia, this horn of plenty, it started out empty and you are filling it with your words. You're going to speak words into the cave that are going to bounce around on the cave walls and continue to travel down through the cave to, it may be an altar space, it may be a table, it may be a stone slab. It's just out of sight, but you know that it's there, not far down into the cave. You're speaking these words out that are going to travel into the cave. They're going to settle on this stone slab, this table, this altar. And the words that you speak materialize into slips of paper with those words on them. You're pausing for a moment because you're thinking about what are the words that you want to speak onto this altar, this stone slab, this portal within the cave. What are the things that you want your holiday harvest to be filled with? What are the things that you want your horn of plenty to have? What are the things that you want in your cornucopia? And I'm going to give you a few moments both to speak what comes to mind and to allow other things that come to mind. You're going to have the time to let these words bubble up. And it's okay if you're surprised. It's okay if in the free association you say something that later you decide you don't want. Once you get into that altar space, you can change it. Right now, you're still at the opening of the cave and you're letting the words flow out of your mouth. And if you want to picture them flowing out like a song, going on sound waves, traveling down into the cave, your words are traveling in. And I'm going to give a couple quiet seconds where I'm going to stop speaking so that you can speak as many words as you wish. And if you wish to pause this because once I start you want to speak even more, you're welcome to do that. This is your experience. So speak out your words that you wish to have in your holiday harvest, in your horn of plenty, in your cornucopia. Speak those words into the cave opening. Let those flow into the cave. You're letting the words flow from your mouth into the cave. You're noticing a natural point of fewer words coming to mind, a feeling of satisfaction, a feeling that you've named and claimed those things that you wish to have in your life, to have in harmony. Now you're ready to enter into this cave. You take off one of the straps of the backpack and swing it around, unzip the zipper, and pull out your flashlight, the torch that you're going to walk into the cave. You put the backpack back on, dip your head under the vines, and step into the cave. You feel completely comfortable, completely confident, and although this cave is new, there's a sense that you know you will be okay. You hold the flashlight out and you begin to walk down the cave entrance. As you look around the cave walls, you notice something on the walls. What do you notice on the cave walls? Feel the answer come to you, come within you. Anything that you notice on the walls is okay, is acceptable. You can notice and feel accepting. If you're curious to explore the cave walls more, you can do that after you finish going to the altar space, engaging with that place. You continue to walk, and at the edge of your vision, at the edge of where the light is, you start to see this magical, mystical altar, stone slab, table that we were speaking of. It didn't actually take that long of walking into the cave till you found the point where it was. You notice the air temperature drop a little bit. The cave is turning slightly to one side, and you follow, approaching the table. And as you get closer, you feel positive. You feel the excitement of approaching a magical place, a magical space. You feel within you a bubbling and an expanding. And you think to yourself, I'm so glad I came into this cave. I'm so glad I spoke the words of what you wanted. And you're getting closer now. You notice that if you're the type of person who likes to sit at your altar table, there's a place for sitting. If you prefer to stand, you can stand. And as you reach to the altar space, there on that table, on that stone slab, you see, maybe they're in a book, maybe they're in a bowl, the words that you spoke on slips of paper before you. You look down. You also notice 3 other items just behind the edge of the slips of paper. Take time to notice one of those items now. And as before, trust that whatever your mind tells you is the item that you hold, that you see, that's what you need to see. And as I said, you're going to hold it. So you're going to pick up that item and hold it in your hands. You're going to feel the weight of it, which might be a large weight, which might be light. You feel this and you know that this relates to your wishes, to your desires. It's important that you're holding this today. And it's giving you qualities that are part of your experience for connecting to the things that you desire, the things that you love, the things that you wish to bring in and feast in your holiday harvest. And you have the choice what to do with this item. Do you place it on the book, which holds your words? Do you place it in your backpack? Do you put it back on the table? Do you slip it in the pocket of your jacket? Whatever you wish to do. There are even some people who they hold the item up and blow air onto it as a magician would, and the item floats away, now light, airy, and it floats to be like a messenger. And if you're feeling, oh, I wanted my item to do that, you can notice that on the table is a second of that item. So if you want to go ahead, if yours did not float away, pick up the second version of that item which just appeared where the first had been. Hold it in your hand. Whew, feel the chills, the tickles through your body, knowing that you are releasing this into the world, and it is as if it's a messenger of your energy, of your desires, of what you want in your cornucopia, and you're blowing it with your breath, and it's traveling out there. The other 2 items on your table, on your altar space, you can come back to later. But now is the time in which you are going to reach back into your backpack, because in there you have a telescope. And like many of the other items you have, this one has unique, special, magical, mystical qualities. You are pulling this out of your backpack, holding it in your hands. It's those old-fashioned telescopes like someone on a boat would have. You extend it out, and in a moment, you're going to put it up to your eye to see. You're not seeing something that's, oh, this telescope is going to show you a moment from your past, a moment from your life where you were in a place that you felt connected to abundance, harvest, riches, feast, cornucopia, a moment where you had that experience. So now you're going to bring the telescope to your eye. You're going to look through the telescope. And at the end of the telescope, viewing, you're going to see that place. You're going to feel that place. You're going to think, yes, that is a place of abundance. That is a place of harvest. That is a place of cornucopia. And your ability to look through this telescope and see this place. This is one of the secret treasures of this experience of being in this cornucopia cave that we're in. Because what is now the case, like electrons that get entangled together, you and this place have a neurological, an energetic, an actual bond. This bond, which as you're seeing this place through your eyes, you're also able in your body to feel as if you're traveling back to that place, traveling back to that experience where you looked around and you saw the cornucopia, you saw the harvest, you saw the feast. And again, this may be a place that has no feasting, that has no literal elements of it. Do not judge what the element is. It could be an amusement park for someone. It could be a car dealership for another person. It could be an academic institution for someone else. For myself, it's this beautiful museum in Boston. Whatever it is that you see through the telescope is wonderful, is acceptable. And I must note, if there's any part of you that does not want to experience the one that you saw, in a moment, go back, do this again, and set the intention. Let me see the place. Let you see the place that connects you back to this. This telescope that you have is a connection point. Most of us, we've been trained all of our lives to see the world in things of unique instances of time and space. You're in your place, I'm in my place. We're not in the same physical location. While those are facts, what you're also engaging with in this cave with this telescope is there are ways of energetically connecting to a portal which connects you to the power, connects you to the energy of this thing that you desire, this thing that you value, this thing that uniquely for you represents harvest, represents abundance. And so you have this telescope that when you are feeling moments of not feeling abundance, you have the invitation to take it out and view. And the shape of your telescope mirrors the shape of the horn of plenty, the cornucopia. So before we go, the last invitation for your mind to, the last invitation for you is to let your mind play with this visual of the horn of plenty being both a basket with feast, cornucopia, harvest at one end, and also the opening to a cave, and also the other end of it being like the telescope. You can engage with this symbol, this experience in different ways in order to play with expanding your mind, expanding your energy, expanding your experience. And as with your imagination, you're only limited by how much you believe that you're limited. Whatever you can visualize out there with your imagination, there are elements that you can bring back, that you can put in your backpack so that as you leave, you can carry it back to your daily life. You can carry it back for a remembrance, for a touch point, for a connection. So go ahead and look at your altar table, this stone table, this stone slab in front of you. Before we leave, you're going to get to do two things. If there's anything else that you want to write into the book or speak into the book, you can speak it into it right now. Whatever you wish to bring from your table that is going to be useful and helpful for you to connect to this abundance, to connect to this horn of plenty, to connect to this deep, rich imagination experience that you are available to, that you are available to be transported to, whatever you wish to bring from the table to place it in your backpack, go ahead and gather it now in your hands. Place it in your backpack and pick up your flashlight. You're going to walk out of the cave. And as you get towards the opening, you start to see the light shining through that opening. You feel that sense of you're bringing things from this deep, rich place, deep within the horn of plenty, deep within the harvest of abundance, deep within the riches of the universe, bringing them back out into the sunshine, back into your life. And as you reach the opening of the cave, you can touch your hand to the cave wall or touch them to the vines at the opening and feel and wish that sense of gratitude, that sense of thankfulness for having your life, for having your imagination, which grows and gets richer and gets more wonderful and exciting every day, every week, every year of your life. Feeling the gratitude and the abundance, feeling that sense of being filled with gratitude for 3 seconds, for 5 seconds. And if you want to whisper a thank you or say thank you out loud, you can. And you step out from the cave. They have a feeling of, sometimes there's a knowing that starts to come in your mind. I need to go do such and such. I should go do blank today. I need to let something go. Whatever is forming through your mind, coming through you, let that come through you. Let yourself have a noticing of it. And as you awaken, as you stir up again your awareness, let yourself decide to take initiative on that, to take 5 minutes or 2 minutes to do whatever that thing is that you feel called to do. And with your next breath, opening your eyes, wiggling your toes, wiggling your shoulders, moving your body, however it feels good, as you bring yourself back to this present state awareness, as you bring yourself back to this place where you are here and now. Coming with me into the Horn of Plenty. Please let me know any experiences that you want to share with me, and know that you can return to this Horn of Plenty whenever you wish.